Welcome back to Film Fix Recaps. Today, we're diving into the world of cinema with a gripping 2005 crime thriller titled Revolver. Spoiler alert. Be prepared and take care. After spending 7 long years behind bars, Jake Green, a Cockney gambler, is finally released from prison. 2 years later, he and his brother Billy visit a prominent local casino with a mission: to collect the money owed to them by the casino's owner and crime boss, Dorothy Matcha. Despite his bodyguard Paul's warnings, Jake decides to join Matcha's private game. As he heads upstairs, his claustrophobia almost gets the best of him in the elevator, but the other bodyguards remind him they have 20 floors to climb. Reluctantly, he takes the elevator, battling a panic attack along the way. Jake's first bet at the table is a chip toss against another player, which he intentionally loses. This is all part of his plan to lull Matcha into a false sense of security. When he makes the same bet with Matcha, he wins. With their bags filled with cash, Billy and Jake attempt to leave the casino. However, they are stopped by Zach, who warns them of imminent danger and provides Jake with his contact information. This time, Jake opts for the stairs, but he faints before descending even one step. The card he receives reads, "Take the elevator." While Jake is rushed to the hospital, Matcha expresses his concerns to Paul. He suspects that Jake may seek revenge after 7 years in prison, especially following the incident involving his sister-in-law. Consequently, Matcha orders Paul to hire the best hitman in the business to eliminate Jake. At the hospital, doctors can't determine the cause of Jake's blackout at first glance, so they advise him to rest while waiting for blood test results. Billy returns home, while Jake opts for protection from his bodyguards. Tragically, all of them are shot as soon as they arrive, except Jake, who discovers a card on the floor that reads, "Pick this up." He narrowly escapes in his car, but even the driver is shot. Fortunately, Zach arrives just in time to rescue him. The hitman is baffled by his rare miss and suspects that someone tipped off Jake. When confronted by Matcha, he claims he missed due to a bad feeling. Meanwhile, Zach introduces Jake to his partner, Avi, who has obtained Jake's medical file. The test results reveal a rare blood disease that will claim Jake's life within 3 days. Avi and Zach offer Jake their protection, but with 2 non-negotiable conditions. He must surrender all his money and comply with their requests, including answering any questions. They give him 3 hours to decide. Jake leaves without giving an answer, convinced that Zach and Avi are trying to deceive him. Believing that Zach and Avi may have influenced the lab results, he seeks a second opinion from his private doctor, who confirms the same prognosis. Threatening his doctor with a gun to ensure no foul play, Jake reluctantly agrees to their terms. After withdrawing money from the bank, he returns to accept the deal. While visiting various clients, Avi reveals that they are loan sharks and Jake's money will fund their loans. After delivering money to their first client, Avi insists that Jake divulge his history with Matcha. Matcha once employed 3 inept henchmen known as the Three Eddies. When they lost their card player before a crucial game, they recruited Jake due to his gambling skills. Initially reluctant, Jake accepted the job to protect Billy's family, who were threatened by the Eddies. During the game, insults were hurled at Jake and his mother, prompting a gunfight. The power outage during the altercation led to the disappearance of money, and Jake found himself implicated in a police investigation. To prevent him from revealing the truth, the Eddies threatened Jake's niece and accidentally killed his sister-in-law while trying to intimidate her. To protect his family, Jake kept Matcha's involvement a secret and served a 7-year prison sentence. While in prison, the Eddies did something to upset Matcha, leading to their grim fate as they were encased in concrete. Jake continues to meet clients and give away his money. He is also tasked with intimidating them if they fail to pay, but he cannot bring himself to harm innocent and desperate people. Meanwhile, Avi and Zach employ unconventional tactics to steal a safe containing the powder Matcha had promised to Lily, a crime kingpin's advisor. They frame Matcha and a rival crime boss, Lord John, for the theft. Lily informs Jake that Zach and Avi are so dangerous that not even gold, an elusive figurehead, would cross their path. Despite the warning, Jake returns to work but refuses to harm a frightened client. In a desperate attempt, he tries to shoot Avi, but discovers that the gun is empty just before Avi knocks him unconscious. Jake awakens in a motel, receives a call from Avi, and is told that he has survived his 3rd day, so he should get a checkup. After a visit from his niece and Billy, who leaves him a gun for protection, Jake consults his doctor, who reveals that the initial diagnosis was incorrect. Jake is not dying. Jake demands answers from Avi over the phone, but Avi insists he will have to wait. Meanwhile, Paul gathers information that implicates Jake in all their problems, leading Matcha to order his execution. When Jake returns to the motel, he is warned by Avi and Zach that Matcha's henchmen are inside. Jake escapes, evading pursuit, especially when one thug accidentally shoots himself. The others discover the body and assume Jake is responsible. Jake confronts Avi and Zach at their office, where they confess that they knew Jake had not disclosed the whole truth about his dealings with the Eddies. Those three men had planned to kill Jake upon his release from prison, as he was the reason they were fired by Matcha. To save himself, Jake made a deal with them to provide them with money each month. He cleverly paid each Eddie with another's money, ensuring he didn't lose anything. As they exhausted their resources, they borrowed from Matcha, which piqued his interest in the mysterious money source. After using the formula to amass wealth at various casinos, Jake decided to take a vacation with his brother and niece. During his absence, Matcha killed the Eddies for failing to repay him. Meanwhile, Matcha, believing Jake to be a threat, grows increasingly paranoid and violent. Matcha's paranoia peaks when he learns that Jake has the powder and has been playing them all along. He dispatches Paul, Sorter, and other henchmen to confront Billy, who attempts to protect his daughter. After a brutal interrogation, Sorter, unable to harm a child, rejects his ego and methodically eliminates his fellow henchmen, but makes a fatal mistake in the end. Meanwhile, Matcha receives a visit from Lily, who delivers a wreath from gold. Lily informs Matcha that his time is up and he won't get a second chance. This revelation sends Matcha into a panic. Avi and Zach take Jake and the powder to Matcha's casino. Avi defeats Jake in a game of chess while revealing the truth about their past. They were mere figments of Jake's imagination. However, their reunion is interrupted when Matcha arrives with Jake's niece. Jake drops the bags of powder, reassures his niece, and shows no fear, even with a gun pointed at the child. Matcha's ego-driven voices convince him that Jake can't harm a dead man. He puts the gun to his head and fires. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you can catch more content like this. Thanks for watching.